everybody, it's Audrey and Avery, and we're back with another video. So Avery is actually, she's winding down for the night, so am I. Actually, you could tell my eyes are kind of starting to droop. So we had a full day today, hybrid type day, where we went out to Gainesville and we worked on a few properties. I went to a few different properties and then kind of came back. So I'm going to let her wind down and watch some Gracie's Corner, whatever she wants to watch until we put her off to bed and get her ready for bed for the night. But I did just want to hop on and chat and just let you know what you all can expect from the channel. And also, too, if you have any recommendations or things that you would love to see, I'll be completely open to that as long as it aligns with the vision of the channel as well. So the channel actually started after I was asked to provide a presentation for an entrepreneurship class for a university. And the class was by Zoom, smaller class size, but it's something that, I was very interested in doing, very excited to do. One of the things that's really easy when you're in business is to be so involved in the grind that you kind of forget to actually look up and see, kind of see where you're at, right? And kind of take a breath for a minute. And one of the things that they wanted me to do was to kind of go through the journey of my business experience, my entrepreneurship experience. And it had been quite some time before I actually sat down and thought about it. And so I did it, and it was fun. And I loved the dialogue, and I loved all of that about it and going through my story. And a part of that kind of sparked interest, like, oh, wait a minute, people can actually benefit from my story. People can actually benefit from my journey. But one of the things that really piqued my interest was after the presentation, we opened it up for students to be able to ask questions and have some dialogue. And one of the questions that I was asked stumped me. And it seems so simple, but the question I was asked was, how is it being a brown-skinned woman in entrepreneurship and trying to do business? What does that look like? And it stumped me because the way that I started in business, and I'm definitely, as a part of this project, going to be telling my story and how I started in business, how it came to be. But the way I started in business, I really didn't have a choice but to just make it, to move forward. I didn't have a choice but for it to work. Because if it didn't work, I didn't eat, type of thing. So I didn't really take the time to stop and think about how me being a brown-skinned woman and doing business impacted and affected me. Now, there were some things that were extremely real, things that were extremely real, and I'll dive into that a little bit more. But there's also some aspects of our business that we just set things in motion and set things in place, because as a brown-skinned woman, I could tell from different interactions that would be a problem. I deal with money. I deal with other people's money, and quite a bit of it. And that's something where I never wanted to have my integrity questioned. I never wanted to, have my motives or my intentions questioned. So I set things in place intentionally where that wouldn't even be a question. But I never took the time just to sit down and think about, like, I've done this because I'm a brown-skinned girl, because I'm a brown-skinned woman in business. And later that night, once we got through with all the questions and answers in the presentation, later that night, I was in the kitchen and I was washing dishes. And typically, whenever I am cleaning something, or whether I'm reorganizing or even doing my hair, but whenever I'm putting things back in order, that's usually when I feel like I hear from God the most, right? So I was in the kitchen and I was washing dishes, and I really feel like a impression of business in color. That name came to me, business in color, and I was like, okay, God, what does that mean? And he began to open up to me this whole thing of, being on social media and starting a behind the scenes look of what it's like to be in business, to bring someone along the journey, right? And for me, someone who is incredibly private, I was like, what? What? So it is something that I feel like God had put in my spirit a little bit ago, and that was the area in which I was disobedient, because I didn't move forward with it. It's kind of like sitting in class and taking notes, but not showing up for the test, right? So that's how it was for me, where I was like, oh God, that's a little bit of a stretch. That's a little bit out of my comfort zone, because people who know me know I'm not normally the one on social media. I don't care to be the one in the forefront. I don't care to be the one just out there like that. I'm not the one to do that. So I was disobedient the first time and didn't move forward on it. And then we wound up coming to a place where we wound up losing a very big, large investor for our business. And once it came to that point, it was almost a matter of not necessarily what I took to be a suggestion. Because, when God tells you to move on something, to do something, it's never a suggestion. Never a suggestion. But what I acted like, it was a suggestion. It just couldn't be that anymore. It came to a place where it was necessary to have visibility. It was necessary to get out there, and Business in Color came back to mind. And I began to do just some quick searches online and trying to find somebody else who was doing more of the behind the scenes look. And one of the things that I found was that people, they would start their YouTube channels or whatever the case may be once they feel like they've gotten to a place where they have arrived to whatever level that is. So they can show up in the space as that particular expert, or they can show up in the space as if they've gotten it together. Like, people always want to show the finished product, but I couldn't find anything. So if it's out there, it's definitely not a lot of it. I couldn't find anything where people were showing literally behind the scenes, behind the curtains. What does it take from the day to day? What is the grit and the grind that you really do have to have on a day to day in order to make something like this happen, right? A lot of times we want to see success overnight. And now we live in a society where it is a microwave society. It is a microwave society, when really business is built one contract at a time. It is built one contract at a time. It should be oven baked. And we want everything instantaneously now. And I wasn't able to find it. And even in trying to find some direction for myself, I just wasn't able to find that. So the whole purpose of Business in Color is to shed some light on my journey. I don't consider myself to be, somebody who spectacular, but I am a daughter of the Most High, right? And I do believe that He will bring everything to my hands that He promised me. And what my journey looks like now, the place that I am in now, for my journey will not be my ending. And I want to be able to have His record. I want to be able to have the journey of His blessings. I want to be able to have the journey of His favor on file. I want that. I want to be able to go back and to see that. And this is the way that, we want to do it. And the fact too, when it comes to Business in Color, a lot of times it seems like something is black and white. It seems like, oh yeah, that's, it's black and white. That's easy. But not everything is. So we want to shed some light on some aspects of business that you may not think about, in that way. I am a very reflective person. I tend to analyze things a lot. I probably analyze them too much. Sometimes, that being my strength can also be my weakness, right? But because I'm a reflective person, I just look at different aspects of business in a different way. And one of the things that I believe wholeheartedly, I believe that one of the greatest assets that you will ever protect is your mind, right? And we have insurance policies on everything else, on all of our other great assets, and we do not cover and protect our mind. And for me, that coverage is the Word of God. That coverage is making sure that I stay grounded. That coverage is making sure that despite all of the things going on around me, and in this effort and this push to see this vision come to light, that I don't lose the fact of who I am. I don't lose the fact of who brought me here, and knowing that the Lord is going to be the one to take me through. So I feel like it's extremely important to really know and protect your mind and your thought processes through situations, and protect your perspective. And that's what this channel is going to be about. So I am still in the process of figuring out everything. You know, I don't know what each video is going to necessarily be. It'll probably be more conversational, like this, where, you know, something comes to mind, where something in the day-to-day strikes up a portion of conversation that I think is worthy enough to dive into a little bit deeper, or may bring up a striking thought, or, you know, it actually may shake up my current worldview and what I used to think, and it may, you know, make me think differently. So I'm here being obedient to God's word, and you know, what he's asked me to do. So I'm seeing how it unfolds, just like you. But definitely, if you're up for the journey, I'm here to go with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off and get this little one to bed, and get myself ready as well. And then, yeah, we'll get back at it. So right now, there's no specific time frame of how often, you know, I'll be making posts. You know, my husband may actually jump in there from time to time and be involved as well. So, you know, just learning as you guys learn how everything unfolds. But I'm glad whoever decides to take the journey with me and watch what God is doing, I'm glad to have you along for the ride. All right, and I'll talk to you guys soon.